What's up, guys? How y'all doing? I have returned for yet another video, and it is now my prediction video for the next home game for the University of Hawaii men's basketball team. If you saw my last video, I had predicted they would defeat Utah by 3, but unfortunately, it did not turn out that way. So now we're gonna get to our next game, the Central Arkansas Bears. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to put up my banner here. That's right. I'm predicting that UH will win this game by 8 points. Okay, 8 points at least. I was looking at HawaiiAthletics.com. They have faced off against Central Arkansas before, and that was back in 2010, about this same time. And some names that were there were Zane Johnson, Bill Amos, and Justin Thomas, just to name a few. I think Zane Johnson was part of the squad in 2010. But anyway, I think that UH has something to prove after they were whumped by the Utah Utes, and they ended up losing 79-66. Now, what happened against Central Arkansas in 2010? UH was certainly not shorthanded by any means then, because they had guys there like Justin Thomas and Bill Amos, just to name a few, that certainly paved the way and allowed UH to win that game 83-69. I was looking at HawaiiAthletics.com for that. So Central Arkansas, they're going to have to hit. So to win against Central Arkansas, UH is going to have to hit the ground running and not let themselves succumb to slow starts, because you heard me say it in my last video, but my opinion that why UH lost to Utah, they had a slow start to the second half. However, there were some good takeaways. They were able to overcome a 12-point deficit to take the lead. And I think it's little things like that that are going to pay off in big dividends sooner or later. Because if UH can come back from a 12-point deficit, I mean, obviously they've come from deficits even further or even higher than that. But the fact that with this squad, and the fact that we had a lot of heavy hitters last season that ended up saying adios and entering the transfer portal, that is actually coming off as a surprise to me, because those guys, had they chose to stay, like Beon Riley and Justice Jackson, they would certainly have paved the way, and maybe, just maybe, with the services of those guys, UH may very well have come out on top, or at least made this a little closer. But obviously, they're going to have to get a lot more production from some guys like Tom Beatty, Morsek, and Justin McCoy. And I say Justin McCoy because he did not score in the first half, but he ended up with 11 points at the end of the game. And of course, as you figured, all those 11 points came in the second half. But I was actually surprised to see that Justin McCoy did not score at all in that first half. That's kind of like Michael Jordan scoring 0 points in the first half of an NBA basketball game. Now, obviously, they're going to have to get a lot more production from him, and especially Tom Beatty, because ever since Beatty had 12 points against UH Hilo, I don't think he's really put in that kind of like outstanding scoring performance since then. I mean, there's a lot more to it than just scoring points, but still, I look for Tom Beatty to have another breakout game sooner or later. And sooner or later, I would think that Tom Beatty is going to be one of the leaders of this team. But another guy that two other guys I'm really looking for better things from, Bernardo da Silva and Matthew Cotton. I think Matthew Cotton really showed me something when he had 23 against UTRGV, Texas Rio Grande Valley. But since then, he's had some bad luck, I would say, in terms of scoring. I mean, he's been there for rebounds. I mean, he got 5 of them against Utah, I believe. Or no, it was not Utah, but San Diego. But he had 3 points then. And I thought Cotton was more or less the same against Utah, at least in terms of scoring. But still, I'm looking for those two guys to have better games, especially Bernardo da Silva, because he is a team captain. And as a team captain, you are expected to anchor this team and lead them to some really clutch wins. Of course, Bernardo's not the only guy in that category. I mean, Jovan McClanahan is, and so is Noel Coleman. But Noel Coleman, I thought, certainly did what he needed to do. He led the team again. But 14, I would have predicted that he would have at least a couple more points. But, that's how basketball goes. One night you're red hot. The next time you're like, what the heck was that? And it's just the way it is. I mean, but Central Arkansas, we faced off against them before, and we won by 14 then, back in 2010. And I think this season is not going to be any different. But I fully expect Central Arkansas to make it a game of things. I expect a lot out of them. I haven't really looked at their roster. But, hey, they're a squad that you can't take lightly. And there are other teams that we've gone up against that, we don't really have much history with. Just like with Niagara, we never faced off against them before. So, obviously, Central Arkansas is a team we faced off against before. And we're definitely going to have to start playing a lot better. And I really hope that the team and Coach Aran Ganat really emphasized the starts, because that second half start against Utah was probably the big reason why UH came out the losers there. Had they started a little better, they may have trimmed the gap closer, because they didn't get closer than 5 points. Maybe they could have cut it down to a possession. But it's how it is. I mean, Utah, they're just better. No excuses. You can't blame lack of preparation. You can't blame not having this guy or that guy available, because Cody Williams is that one guy that I have yet to see play a game since Hilo. I don't know if he's hurt or anything. He probably is. I don't know if he's going to be back soon. But I guess we'll see what happens. So I'm looking for a win by UH. Obviously, perfect season is no longer possible, but I don't think anyone was predicting a perfect season from the get-go. I certainly wasn't, especially with a team like UH. I mean, could they have done it? There's always that chance, but I didn't see that happening, because I don't think they really have that energetic player like that Roderick Bobbitt kind of player like we had back in 2016, where Bobbitt was the clear point guard, in the words of Coach Aran Ganat. But still, I'm not worried about the Utah loss. Utah was just better. But regardless of how things go, the real season for the University of Hawaii begins December 30th. That's the main thing. And that's against Cal State Fullerton for Big West Conference play. Now, I do think that UH has certainly answered a lot of questions about conference play, on whether or not there'll be factors, whether they can avoid all those losses by a single possession, etc. But they're going to have to rely solely on the starts. If they can hit the ground running, they can they can certainly turn some heads and possibly make it further in the Big West tournament. But again, it all depends on the start. And of course, maybe this is the year that UH would finish second after they were picked to finish second last season. But after Juan Munoz went down, it seemed like everything went completely nuts. It seemed like everything went completely hangwire. But I guess we'll see what happens. Game is on Sunday, December 3rd. And of course, beforehand is Wahine basketball, UH versus San Jose. I believe San Jose State. Yeah, San Jose State. Am I going to be at that one? I haven't decided yet. But nonetheless, you will see some shots from the Central Arkansas game. I can definitely guarantee that. So we'll see what happens then. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That's going to do it for this video. And remember, subscribe if you want to see more prediction videos, some more of my recaps or some of my Press Your Luck games. Just remember, all you have to do is ring the bell and subscribe. I got my channel remonetized. Want to thank TubeBuddy. I bought a pro license. I'm starting to grow my channel. I have over 10,000 subs, 10,200. And I'm looking to get more before this year is over. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And remember, subscribe. I will see you all next time. Malama Pono, everyone.